Hello, Rawley families, and welcome to the recorded version of Parent Tech Night for grades pre-K through 1. Here is the link to tonight's presentation. I want to start off tonight by talking about your children, Generation Alpha, anyone born after the year 2010. They require more personalized learning, they don't play by the rules, and they have a seamless relationship with technology. I want to show you a quick video, and I think it'll give you a better idea of what your children need in regards to their education.
Teachers, have you heard of Generation Alpha? Well, if you haven't, you better stop, because if you teach 7th grade and under, that's who's in your classroom. And if you teach above 7th grade, that's who's coming to your classroom. So here are 5 things that'll help you prepare for them. First, they're born after the year 2010, and they'll be the most educated generation in history because of their technology and instantaneous access to information. It's estimated that by the time they're 8 years old, they will have more technology skills than their parents, and their teachers. And they're going to grow up in a world with artificial intelligence. They're going to need their lessons to be personalized, not just voice and choice, but personalized. And their main mode of social interaction is in fact going to be social media. So think about that as you prepare lessons for them in this post-pandemic world.
Generation Alpha knows the facts can be found by asking Alexa or Google. And if you believe in them and offer the right support, they can be more self-directed in their learning than past generations. They also have digital savviness, and that means they can learn deeply about a place or subject from many perspectives and the actual experts on YouTube. So they might just challenge some information. Technology and Generation Alpha are so intertwined that it is estimated by the time they are 8 years old, just like it said in the video, they will surpass their parents in technology skills. So let's talk about what we will go over in this video. We will go over Rawley email, Clever, Google Classroom, Seesaw, Google Meet, Smarty Ants, and Class Dojo. Let's talk about Rawley email. Every student in the district was provided a Rawley Gmail. The naming convention is your child's first initial and last name, their high school graduation year at rawley.net. So for example, if Mickey Mouse was in first grade, his email would be mmouse33 at rawley.net. There are some exceptions when 2 students in a given grade level have the same first initial and last name. So sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. Your teacher or school's technology facilitator can help you with that. Students in grades pre-K through grade 3 passwords are PASS plus the last 4 digits of their student ID number, which can be found in PowerSchool. If you see the example here, the student number 436743, the student's password would be PASS6743. So again, your child's password will be PASS plus the last 4 digits of their student ID number. And if you look to the right of the screen in the blue box, all the graduation years are there. So if your child is in pre-K 4 right now, their graduation year is 35. If they're in K, their graduation year is 34, and so on. Just as an FYI, if you have a grade 4 to 6 child, their passwords were given in school, so they might be a little different. If a login does not work, send an email to support@rawley.net and put the words Google login issue in the subject line. Let's talk now about Clever. Clever is a single login for all of your child's online programs and resources. And it's an extension that can be found if they have a Chromebook at the top bar, and it's an app if they're using an iPad in school. Look for this icon in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Sometimes it's in different places depending on the device. When you log in, you want to search for your school. Now for us, we're going to start by typing in Rawway. So once you start typing in the RAH, then you would click on your child's school, and then you would type in log in with Google and continue through to log in with Google with your child's Rawway Google email account. If your child was provided a QR code badge, you can click the Clever badge login instead and scan the QR code. It will log your child right in to the Clever account. Right now, I am on a Chromebook, and on my bookmarks bar, I have a bookmarks. Mine is going to look a little different, but I want to show you what Clever looks like. In most students on their device or at school or at home, it would be district bookmarks, Clever login. It would load. You want to make sure it says Rawway Public School District here. If it doesn't, you would start typing in the word Rawway and then click the name of your child's school and then continue to log in with Google. If your child was given a Clever badge, you would click here and scan the QR code. Once your child logs into Clever, this is what the page will look like. There are some district apps already provided, and some are called single sign-on apps. Smarty Ants is an example of a single sign-on app where if the student clicks on it, it will automatically sign them in there to their account. They do not have to log in with a username and password. Some are not single sign-in and they will have to log in with a username and password or click their Rawway email. But this is a great kind of one-stop shop single sign-in, and it makes it a lot easier, especially because if you're watching this, your children are our younger children, our pre-K through first graders. So Clever is a great way for you and your children to get used to logging into a lot of our applications and websites. Again, it's single sign-on, so if you click it, it will automatically bring your child to that website. We are now going to be moving on to Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a place for your child's teacher to post announcements, set assignments and homework, ask questions, and share news. And students can see when their work is due, submit assignments, take quizzes, post messages, and more. Now, because your children are young, Google Classroom will be used differently. Each teacher does use it differently. Also, it is per the individual, but it is good to get familiar with how it is used because we do use it here in Rawway. So I want to show you an example of what a Google Classroom looks like. This is an example of a kindergarten Google Classroom. When you first log into Google Classroom, this is called the stream, and it's kind of like just where everything, if anything gets posted, it'll be posted in date order. And then you have up top here, if you click on classwork, if the teacher has posted any assignments. I feel that a lot of the lower grade teachers use this for helpful information for parents, helpful videos and activities that you can do with your children at home. As you can see, this kindergarten teacher has a lot of helpful links for parents, foundation videos, practice for ABCs, letters, and sounds. So great resources for you and your children. And then what you would do is just simply click on the link, and sometimes there's more than one. They can post documents, videos, websites, whatever they want. So that's a great thing about Google Classroom. Let's talk about joining Google Classroom. So joining Google Classroom, there are 3 ways that you can join Google Classroom. Your teacher may send you a class link. You would simply click on that link and then it would guide you and you would click on your child's Rawway email to join. They may send you a class code and I'm going to show you how to join with the class code, or they may send you an email invite. So if they send you an email invite, remember they're going to send the email invite to your child's email. They may also send an email invite to the parent or the guardian. So they're going to, some teachers like to invite guardians, so just keep that in mind. But if it is going to be via email, they will send it to the child's email. After you join a class on one device, you're enrolled in that class for all devices. And again, please be sure to sign into Classroom with your child's Rawway email. So let's take a look at how you can join with a class code. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you are logged into your child's Rawway email. When you're logged in, you want to look over here to make sure that this is their Google account. You can go over here to the Google Apps icon and click on the Classroom app. Once you click on that, it will bring you to the Google Classroom home page. In the upper right-hand corner, there is a plus sign. If you click on that plus sign, you're going to click Join Class. And then over here, where it says class code, you're going to click class code and type in the class code that the teacher has given you. If you've typed in the correct code, this join over here will turn blue, and then you click join and your child will be added into that teacher's Google Classroom. So just to review some things, a teacher may send you with a class to join with a class link. Be sure you're logged into your child's Rawway email. Click the class link, select the account, your child's Rawway email account, and click join. Join Google Classroom with the class code. Here are the directions. Your child's teacher will tell you or send you the class code. After you get the code, you're going to follow these steps. You can go to classroom.google.com or go to the Google Apps icon and click Google Classroom. Make sure you're signed into your child's Rawway email account. At the top, click the plus sign, join class, enter the class code, and then click join. With an email invite, you're going to accept the invitation in the email, or you can go straight to Classroom and it'll be in there and it'll look something like this, and you could click join. Some helpful tips about Google Classroom. Number 1 is the classwork tab is really important. That's where you're going to find any classwork or information that your teacher wants you to have. So click on that classwork tab. That's going to be your helpful tab. And a suggestion is to bookmark classroom.google.com for quick access. Now let's move on to Seesaw. Each student gets their own journal to document what they learn in school, and we'll add things to it like photos, videos, drawings, or notes. And Seesaw is really like a digital portfolio. Your child's teacher will provide you with a special sign-up code or QR code to join their Seesaw class. So there are 2 ways to join Seesaw. If you are on a Chromebook or desktop computer, you would go to the website app.seesaw.me. However, if you are on an iPad, you would download the Seesaw class app. And Seesaw is compatible with Clever. So if you log in with Clever, like we discussed earlier in the recording, the Seesaw class app will be in Clever. So here are the directions for logging into Seesaw from a Chromebook. They would go to that app.seesaw.me. They would tap I am a student. they would type in their teacher's text code, okay, if it's their first time logging in. If not, they would tap sign in with Google, and they would use their Rawway email and password to sign in. If it's not their first time signing in, each time they sign in, they just have to click sign in with Google, and they're ready to go once they click their Rawway email. If you're logging into Seesaw from an iPad, you would download the Seesaw class app, tap I'm a student. For your first time logging in, you would obviously type in that teacher's text code to be able to join their class, and then choose your Rawway email and sign in. However, each time after that, you tap I'm a student, click on your Rawway email, and sign in. Let's talk a little bit more about Seesaw because especially your kindergarten and first graders are going to be using it a little bit more. And I'm going to log into the website now to show you a little bit about what it looks like. This is an example of what a student's Seesaw page looks like. They have a journal where their work goes. If you click on the activities tab, there would be any activities. You have an in progress tab that may be something they might be in the middle of working on. They have ones that are done. And then they have a calendar where you can see if anything, dates that they were completed or due. In Seesaw, when a student has an activity, they have options. They can take a photo, they can draw, do a video, they can upload items, notes, or link something. When it's all said and done, they send it to their teacher for review. It makes it very easy for the little ones to be able to do their work. The next topic of the recording is Smarty Ants. Smarty Ants is an online program that helps build your child's foundation for literacy success. It helps to accelerate their mastery forward on their foundational literacy skills. They'll start by taking an initial assessment to determine their placement in the program, and then it will continuously monitor their performance. Students love using their ant avatars, and they receive encouragement from Coach and Flea. Let's talk now about logging into Smarty Ants. One of the easiest ways to log into Smarty Ants is via the Clever app or Clever extension. We talked about that earlier in the recording. Once they log in through Clever is a single sign-on application, and it will log them right into their personal Smarty Ants account. Your child's teacher might provide you with your child's username and password. You would sign in with username, password, click enter, and then click on their ant avatar. If you are on a desktop or Chromebook, you would go to this website. And again, your child's teacher will provide you with their username and password. If you are on an iPad, there is the Smarty Ants PreK-1 app. Please make sure that you are downloading the PreK-1 app because there is an app also for second grade. Students would log in through this the same way they would log in on a desktop computer or Chromebook. Class Dojo. Class Dojo is a connection, to your school and the teachers for great communication. So instead of getting separate emails, all teachers can communicate with this one app. So teachers might try to connect you through your child's class via a paper invite or email you a PDF. They might send you a text message invite, or they might send you the link. And what's wonderful about Class Dojo is once you are in Class Dojo, each year it saves your information, and then the next year's teacher can move your child's information up to that next year's teacher. And it's a great way to find out information about not only what's going on in your child's class, but also what's going on in the school. When you create a Class Dojo account, you can select your language preference. Class Dojo translates into 35 different languages. If you have different Class Dojo accounts for whatever reason, if you toggle up into the left-hand corner, if you're on the app on your phone, you can switch accounts. To the right-hand corner in the gear icon is where you would go into your settings. Your child appears here, and you can add multiple children to your one dojo account, and I highly recommend that you do that. Stories are announcements from your child's teacher to the whole class. So if you look here at the bottom, stories, and then messages. And again, this is the app view, parent view. So class story, these are messages that are sent to the entire class. Teachers can send images, files, or videos, and you can like and comment on a class story. And then the school story. I really want to point out the school story to you. It's very, very important. These are messages that are sent to the whole school. And this way, parents only get the message once instead of from every teacher. And you can also like and comment on a school story. And these are great because these are a great way for a school to get out a message to the parents and guardians. And this is why Class Dojo is a great communication tool. And this is why I highly recommend that you download the app on your phone and you set up your notifications to get the notifications, because if there's a notification that goes out, most of the schools and the elementary schools in Rahway use Class Dojo, and they send a lot of messages and communications via Class Dojo. Messages. So messages are private, individual conversations between you and the teacher. So if you wanted to message a teacher, your child's teacher, you do not have to worry about it being anything but private. You simply type a message in the oval that says type a message, or use the icons on the bottom to take a photo and add it. Add a photo from your camera roll or add a Class Dojo emoji. So again, I just want to make that clear that your message to the teacher is completely private. Now let's move on to Google Meet. Teachers can share a Google Meet code a few different ways. Now, Google Meet, if your child was in the Rahway school system last year for kindergarten, you might have used Google Meet when we were virtual or mixed mode. There's always a possibility that we may need to use this in the future, so it's always good to be familiar with Google Meet. So teachers can share a Google Meet via Google Classroom, a direct link, a meeting code, or a meeting nickname. Most teachers in Rahway will share the Meet code via Google Classroom. So if they are sharing it via Google Classroom, they will use the link at the top. You'll see it just like you see it on the screen here in the stream. When you log in, you're automatically in the stream. It'll say the class name, it'll say the class code, and then it will not say the class code for you, but it will say the Meet link. You simply click on that Meet link to join the Google Meet, and it's as simple as that. It will be there in the top bar of the stream of Google Classroom. If they're using a code or nickname, you would go to meet.google.com and you would enter the code or nickname here and click join. Before you join, you might want to just check the microphone and camera. You might want to mute yourself before entering a Google Meet, and you might want to make sure that your camera is on, and then simply click Join Now. Here is some important new Google Meet layout features that you might want to familiarize yourself with. They were updated last spring. An important one is here, the 3 dots. I would familiarize yourself with the 3 dots. That's how you change your settings, your background, your layout, and more. This is the hand, is where your child can raise their hand. This is the microphone, turning the camera on and off. But again, I would familiarize yourself with the 3 dots because the settings one, you might need to change settings of the Google Meet depending on the layout. So if you go to that, more options, you may need to change the layout, because if you are in a Google Meet with a classroom full of students, your child is obviously going to want to see all of their classmates. So you would simply click Change Layout, choose Tiled, and then toggle the tiles all the way to the right so that you ensure that all of the tiles on the screen and your child will see all of their classmates. So again, 3 dots, change layout, tiled, and then toggle this all the way to the right. If there's any other help that you need, there's always help out there. So here's some important information. Here are your building technology facilitators and other helpful information. If you need, again, I put the link at the beginning of the video to this Google slide presentation. So here is some PowerSchool information. Here's a link to student computing support. Here is a list of each school's technology facilitator and their email address. If you have an issue, you can always reach out to them. Also, here is some helpful resources for parents. If you have this slide presentation, you can simply click on this picture or scan this QR code. This is a page filled with helpful resources for parents, articles about topics discussed during this recording. It includes videos, directions, and useful links on how to use Google Classroom, Seesaw, ClassDojo, and more, all for parents. I do hope you find it helpful. So here's a district, rawway.net, direct link, PowerSchool, Google Classroom, Seesaw, all helpful links and articles that you might need in the future, just in case you wanted to maybe read more or delve in deeper to these topics. It's all right here for you. Some more information on your children, Generation Alpha. So this is a link to that. It's right in that Google slide presentation, or you can scan that QR code. I thank you for joining us and listening to this presentation. Please keep in mind you can always find a lot of useful information at www.rawway.net. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to your child's teacher or your building's technology facilitator. Thank you for listening.